I want to give an example of mens rea. Mens rea means intention. So it causes you to become guilty or not under American law, at least. Okay, so DARPA patented the human microchip in 2004. I figured it out, and when somebody told me, and within a couple of years of that, and I wrote a song, "Ain't Microchipping Me." And then when I went into the woods one day, and they flew into my eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, ass, and penis, because that's what they do, through the orifices with micronized drones that target your body signature from the scan port when you go through the airport, so they can kind of see you walking around before they put Neuralink in you. With the microelectromechanical sensor layer that is a basically neuron dust layer in the sky around us that they dropped as well. That's basically lighter than air, and it communicates like communicative dust. Essentially, they go into people's minds, speak all manner of evil. They have something called an iron cage. They surround your mind with, and they shout into your brain keywords like a computer, and they try to pull time signatures out of your brain and try to pull memories out of your brain and say, "You did this." And they say that they are the beings that have been, torturing your mind since the beginning of time. And they now have a deal with humans. Sorry, picking my nose there. They're trying to fly in my nose, probably. So essentially, they have all sorts of weird technologies. They rule the world. They've ruled the world for at least since 1972, right after the JFK assassination, and etc. It's probably related, like I said. It may or may not be. But an example of mens rea is when, like for example, I wrote "a microchip in me," and then they microchip me. Yeah, that would do it. After they invented the human microchip, and they knew that because I put it on the internet, so they were aware that I did not want a microchip. Another example of mens rea is them sending out people to assassinate and frame me everywhere I go, telling people in the background that I do something that I don't, so they can get me killed by them. Usually that's like the hand and foot, like the mafia and the cartels, etc. But essentially, where the money comes from, well, Goldman Sachs put their money in the Internet of Things. If you want to know where they put their money, the Internet of Things is Neuralink and Starlink with the Internet. You've got the World Wide Web, which has the satellites and towers, which is the wireless portion, and the wired portion, which is the actual wired portion, right, with data banks in between, where there are data banks in between every nation, right, where basically the international police use that information, which they get from DARPA, to monitor the world, and then each nation does individually do the same. They basically get their information from them with no check and balance, and so essentially they rule the world. Okay, so an example of mens rea, again. About 2.5 years ago, I drew a picture and said DARPA, the beast Antichrist system, and I could explain that in another video. And I said Elon Musk, the Antichrist. And then Elon Musk and DARPA, sure enough, put Neuralink in me. Using very strange tactics. Musk may have gotten together with my ex-girlfriend. That sounds crazy, but I did date another girl that knew Musk. So it happens. So basically, her name was Mandy Kitchen. She taught his wife piano or some crap. But anyway, Heather Ward is probably involved in this because she's absolutely insane. I'm not gonna go too deep into it right now, but basically she's probably influencing Musk because she's like that combination of like beautiful, crazy, manipulative that you just want to run from as far as you can away. And I tried, but then she's torturing me and trying to kill me with the secret government. Let me explain some of the things they've been doing to me. So they tell me that they wait until I'm eating, and then they start torturing people in the background of my mind. I can hear them torturing people in the background right when I'm about to eat. They tell me it's my family, and then they killed them, or they have them in cages, and they're cloning them and put clones on the surface. This is the kind of stuff they're telling me in my head, just to fuck with me. Hopefully they're not doing it. If they're doing it, then obviously that's another crime, like the worst crime in history, basically, right? They're sending things, probably symbiotic life forms that are masked, but there's something that's they have go inside of my body, and then they go specifically on parts of my body that make me very, very uncomfortable, like I'm being raped or something. I'll just put it that way. And they do it on purpose, and it's moving around my body. And they've been doing this for on and off for a period of time. That's one example. Another example is they've been chasing the people out of my life. They've been sending people out actually on foot, and I can see them, but I haven't really pinpointed it yet. Nobody's really told me yet. But I can see them in the background, and they're influencing the people in my life, and all of a sudden the people in my life disappear. They decide they don't want to see me. They're sending signals to the brains of the people around me to keep them away from me. Why? Because they have a micro electromechanical sensor base layer, which is MEMS sensor. You can look them up if you want. It's a base layer for the Internet of Things, which essentially is short distance drones. You can hear them in the background. Beep, 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 beep. They basically you have like two-tone drones, usually triangulating a location, sending the signal to the Internet of Things, which is you, which is your mind hooked up to the internet. Basically, the worst thing in history. And so essentially, um, Elon Musk is pushing it. If you want to know why I call him the Antichrist, this is what I mean. You want to know why I had to call Darpa the Beast, this is what I mean. Well, basically, we got the all-seeing eye, Christ, right? Or Vishnu. We call him Vishnu, right? Vishnu or Christ. King of the son of God, right? The God is the seventh, right? Christ is the sixth. And so the devil says he's six. He says he's six. He says he's six, right? And then he tries to be the false all-seeing eye because Christ is the true all-seeing eye. And so that's the Antichrist. And so you can see the true Christ. And I know this sounds crazy. And yeah, you probably don't believe what I'm saying. You probably don't believe what I said before because of what I'm saying now, whatever. Anyway, regardless, I'm going to say it anyway. So there's the true all-seeing eye, which is Christ, the one who actually manifests the eye into every species and actually sees everything and experiences everything. And then you have the all-seeing eye of the world. Well, who watches everything in the world? Let's just look at it this way. Even ignoring all the religion, who watches everything in the world? Who is the eye? Or who would be the Illuminati, technically? The eye of the world, right? Well, nobody observes more information than the guy that's watching your phone. By IP address and user account, storing that information and putting and they have it in the data bank, right? Under your name and your file, which your name and file also has a body signature number and all sorts of other shit now that they have, and a Neuralink number and an IP address and all sorts of crazy shit that they're doing to people now, because we are the Internet of Things. What that means basically is it's time to be prepared to, well, like the thing at the end of the world, the battle at Omegiddo, the battle in the mind. I would say it's been a secret battle in the mind for about 50 years. The Battle of Omegiddo, the Battle of Armageddon, right? I think that means the mind. But I also think that this could manifest into physical reality and could really, really, really crazy. And essentially, we're dealing with a set of people that literally puts people in pits and tortures them underground and doesn't think twice about it. And they've been trying to kill me with poison invisibly for about 2 years. The reason they haven't been able to kill me is a miracle, basically. Basically, it's a miracle I'm alive. I actually have come back from the dead, believe it or not. I know that sounds crazy, but that's one of the other things they're trying to cover up. They got people around me, surrounding me everywhere I go. I've got Interpol, I've got secret agents, I've got all these people, and they're trying to kill me. They're all trying to kill me together. The mafia with the secret agents. So welcome to the world.